Hey, everybody. I am so thankful and excited to bring this special guest with you today. I have the honor of having an agency owner named Katie Cheek from Louisiana with me. Katie's actually been with her carrier since 2008, started as a producer, but in 2019 started her own scratch agency, and she's doing really, really great. Katie found our program just a few months ago and wanted to share her story about how CWC is helping transform the way that she and her awesome team are taking care of their customers. They just had, was it your best month ever or best month in a long time in January?
January was our best month.
Best month ever in over 2 years. Now, Katie, you've only just scratched the surface, but you have a very interesting story to share and what made the, like as you said in your email to me earlier this week, the light bulb go off for you and your team. Will you share that story with us?
Sure, absolutely. So, um, last Friday, I was going to the grocery store in town, and another driver ran a red light, and I was involved in a car accident. It was a pretty bad accident. Um, so when the other driver actually told me her insurance carrier, I already knew that there wasn't going to be enough coverage to cover the accident. So the following week, this past week, I go into work. Um, and I had an incoming call, so I grabbed the phone, and it happened to be a warm transfer lead. Well, there's no information, so I'm already like, okay, it's a bad lead. So, yeah, so I'm like, let me just start the process, lead with liability. So I start talking to the customer, and I start asking her all of her information, and she's getting a little frustrated because none of it showed up. So I said, hey, why don't you just tell me a little bit about yourself so that I can learn how to build the coverage that you need? And so she starts talking and tells me she's retired. And then I said, well, what about your limited liability? What do you have? Well, I don't know what I have. And I said, okay, that's fine. Well, what about your umbrella? Has your agent given you an umbrella policy? And she's like, what's umbrella coverage? I've never heard of it. So I'm like, well, let me go through this. And I said, let me explain all of this to you. And so I start doing the quotes. And she says, well, I'm already insured with Allstate. I'm like, okay. So I'm going to return the lead for a credit because she's already insured with Allstate. I said, well, let me just go ahead and go through all of this with you. So I pull up her policies and continue on with lead with liability. I said, look, right now you have 5,150. I said, we had one of our insureds the other day who was involved in an accident. The other driver did not have enough coverage. So what happened is if that accident happened to you and you're going to the grocery store one day and you have an accident like that and it's your fault and you hit this driver who's got this brand new vehicle, um, you have 50,000 in coverage. So if her car costs more than $50,000, how much do you think you're going to have to pay for that car? She's like, well, my insurance company will cover it. So I said, look, I said, once your insurer pays out your limit, you are required, you have to pay that. I said, not only do you have to pay that, if you get sued because that driver was injured, um, you have to pay for attorneys as well. I said, you own your home outright. You have a small retirement monthly check. I said, can you afford to pay for attorneys and pay for that other car? And so she starts doing the math and she's like, no, I don't know that I could. She said, I might have to start all over. And I'm not sure that I'm at an age where I can start all over. I said, okay, so let's go back and talk about this. So if you have an umbrella coverage with us and an umbrella policy with us, if that accident happens, you know that Allstate has your back. You don't have to worry about hiring attorneys. You don't have to worry about losing your home. You don't have to worry about losing your retirement check. And she's like, I want that today. How do I get that coverage?
Yes.
I said, well, I said for $1.10 per day, you can increase your liability on your auto, you can pay for your umbrella, and you can increase your liability on your home. That way you don't have to worry if that accident happens to you. And she said, I want that coverage today. I called around. I was looking for cheaper insurance. I am so glad that I talked to you today. I don't need cheap insurance. I need that umbrella coverage.
Amen. Wow. What an amazing, amazing story. You've literally been on a program for 2 months and you just role played or explained to me the sales process fantastically. Fantastically. How we start with, what are your limits? Do you understand what those coverages mean? How much do you carry on your umbrella? Well, the way that we ask that is it assumes that they have one. Most people don't. Boom. Now we've got them. We can really say, I'm shocked, I'm concerned. Let me tell you this story. You gave your true story, your true example. Make them do the math at how much they would have to pay if that were them, and tell them, we're going to fix this today. You even broke it down daily. That's something that we teach. Break it down daily. For $1.10, we're going to be able to fix these policies for you today. You are in good hands, right? You did it perfectly. You're the owner. You're the agency owner. A lot of agency owners work on the business, not in the business. You started as a producer back in 2008, right? And you were a producer for what, about 14 years or so, or whatever, and then started your own agency. And that's so about 11 years. And you started your own agency about 2.5 years ago or so. You're still working in the business. You're actually leading production for your office. Tell me about your team, though. Tell me about your team. Are they starting to buy in? Do they hear that conversation that you have with that customer and say, whoa, that worked? She just like sold her more insurance for more premium and they bought it right then. Is your team starting to buy in now?
They actually, because I keep my office door open, so they heard that conversation. I got up, I walked out of my office, and they said, "Hey, I saw that lead come in, and there was no information." And then she was already insured with Allstate, so we just returned that lead, right? I'm like, "No, actually, we don't." And I said, "Look," I said, "now that I've explained to her a story and gone through that entire lead with liability process with her, I said, what just happened with that?" And they're like, "Oh, that's how that works." Their light bulbs went on, and it was great. So they finally got it.
Well, I'm excited for you and your team. And that literally just happened like this week. Was that Monday or when was that?
The accident was last Friday, and the that actually happened this past Tuesday. Yeah, with the
Gotcha. Now, for you personally, I'm so glad that you're here. I'm glad you're okay. What types of injuries did you have?
rib and muscle, right rib and muscle. So
Ouch.
the impact from the seatbelt and the airbag that deployed. So
Oh my gosh. And you're literally working. You're here. Like you came into the office and you said,
I
I'm going to use my story to help somebody else.
absolutely, it's so important that other agents get the opportunity to utilize this training, because the coverage aspect of it, the way that Craig Wiggins teaches this, to lead with liability and coverage, is so much more important than price.
It is. And guess what, y'all? When you and your team sell coverage and value and your advice more than the price, you're going to write more business. See, price is the one thing we can't control. What we can control is the coverages, the recommendations. And of course, we can do things to make it as affordable as possible. You know, we can make sure that they have appropriate deductibles, that they take advantage of all applicable discounts, special programs like DriveWise and ePolicy, all that jazz, full pay, if you have full pay discounts in your state. There's lots of things that we can do to get the rate as low as possible. But what actually matters in that split second when Katie was driving along and was hit, what actually matters at that time? It's not the price, it's the coverage. All right. So, Katie, I'm excited for you and your team. And in fact, you just signed up for me to work with you and your team. And I'm really thankful. You know, we have programs, y'all. We have coaches, myself, Mark, Justin, other coaches. We've actually worked directly with you and your team. So, look what Katie's done on her own for the past few months, which is what most of our 1,500 agencies do. But now she's stepping up and asked me to work directly with her and her team in my program. And that's an honor. Seriously, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to work with you and your staff, because I know that you just had your best month ever. How about we make that like the worst month of the year? Let's just keep growing. Let's keep growing, keep climbing that ladder. I cannot wait to work with you and your team. I'm excited. I'm so thankful that you found us, and I'm really thankful that you're okay and that the accident wasn't worse. Y'all, life can change in the blink of an eye. And we are either going to be in position to help our customers when they need us or not, right? What we do matters. Katie gets it. Her team gets it. The 1,500 agencies in our program get it. I hope that this is going to encourage one person out there to want to get involved. If you'd love to get involved with Craig Wiggins Coaching, check us out at craigwigginscoaching.com. You can use my promo code, which is simply my full name, one word, Joseph Puckett, and you can get the first month for $30. Try us out, y'all. Try us out and see if we can help you like we've helped Katie. But Katie, thank you for sharing your story today, and thank you for leading your team. Now let's keep growing. Sound good?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And everybody, let's get back to work. Make it a great day.